Oh, Darwood, you're right. It's very bright up here. And all I can see is little candles burning everywhere, and it's just beautiful. I'm going to keep my candle, Chris. Thank you. Salam. Jumbo. Welcome. Hello. We all have many different points of views, and we're all sharing different things tonight. And I'm sure many of you standing out there have different thoughts too. Whilst my daughter travels around the world, she's actually here tonight, but she's been travelling, here in Shepparton, I feel we do that every day. We have people from many different lands living here. I feel our community is greatly enriched by our multicultural community, and I value that very, very much for my children and I. When I went away on a holiday last year, it was a beautiful place, but I felt like it was missing something, and I actually couldn't work out what it was. It was beautiful rainforest around me and lots of beautiful ocean and everything, but it was still missing something. And when I got back to Shepparton, I realised straight away that it was our multicultural community that I love so much. As a photographer and a community member, I have many opportunities to attend celebrations, work on projects, and make friends with many people from different lands. I never had that opportunity when I lived in Sydney, but I have that here. Many of our multicultural community have come to Shepparton as refugees, fleeing areas of conflict and war and coming to live in a safe, peaceful place. I attended the Light the Dark event in Melbourne last week, and as I walked back to where I was staying, I was thinking a lot about everyone here and refugees all around the world, and thinking about those lives that were lost and those that are still trying to make the journey to come here. And I saw this sign, and it was just a big white sign, and it said, "What if it were you?" And I just stopped and I thought, well, yes, what if it were you? What if it was me? If my family's life was in danger, if I had to protect my family, I would do anything. I would grab my children and I would flee. I would flee in any way I possibly could to get them to safety. So what if it were you? What would you do? Seeking asylum is a human right. It is not illegal. To those of you who have come to Australia seeking asylum, I admire your courage and strength so much. And I think of this quote by Bob Marley: "You never know how strong you are until being strong is the only choice that you have." I wish for all the refugees who have travelled here, I wish for you all to find welcome and peace. For some refugees to find peace, I realise it may take a bit longer, but I do hope that someday it comes to you. To the Shepparton community, I encourage you to have patience and to show support and compassion to our new arrivals. I think back to a little while ago when a Sudanese friend of mine called Mary, I was standing in her kitchen, and she said to me, "Liz, when your head hurts and your heart is sad, it's hard to learn. It's hard to move forward. It takes time." I hope that those refugees who are still in detention centres, that they be released soon. And those waiting for different visas to move forward in their lives, I hope that this happens so you can have the freedom and the same rights as I do living here in Australia. I hope you find support in the hearts and arms of Shepparton, because we are here. Look around you. We welcome you. Maybe you're standing here asking yourselves, what can I do to help? There's many things that you can do. You can get involved in a mentor program, volunteer with reading. It's actually how I met quite a few of my friends sitting down here. Maybe you can help with a homework club. Maybe you can help with a sewing group, attend festivals and celebrations, support businesses. Perhaps maybe you can even think about renting a room or a home to asylum seekers who have nowhere to live. Maybe you can invite someone to dinner. Maybe you could write or talk to those people in detention. Or perhaps you can simply just smile at each other when you meet or pass by. Perhaps you can say yes to a cup of tea or offer one yourself. Just recently I said yes to a cup of tea at Mustafa's house, and a little while later I ended up at dinner with 14 Afghani ladies, and it was a beautiful night because I said yes. I could have gone home, but I had a wonderful evening. And they want to meet other Australian women. There was an older lady that sat there with the tears in her eyes, and someone translated to me, and she just kept saying, thank you for coming. Thank you for coming here and trying to speak Persian, trying to speak to us. But I encourage you to remain open, an open heart and an open mind, to learn from each other and build relationships. Everything you do has some impact. The Dalai Lama says our prime purpose in life is to help others. And if you can't help them, then at least don't hurt them. And another favourite person of mine, Yusuf Islam, says unless good people stand up to be heard, then fear and cruelty will always dominate the world. So it's time for those people to stand up. Today we stand up. We stand here today. We stand here and speak and share our stories. And we speak up for others to hear us. We speak up and stand here in welcome of refugees on a day, Friday, that leads into the World Peace Weekend, which is this weekend. I invite you just to lift your candles. Sorry, mine has blown out. Lift your candles and open your hearts and say welcome. Welcome. Thank you. Tashakur. Buddha Hafiz.
I'm certain many of you can spot the new arrivals when they come. They're on their way back home from the supermarket carrying great big bags of shopping. I always find if I put a smile on my face and touch my heart and smile at them, it's like a magic that really makes their day, and they come alive and smile back at you, even though you can't speak your language. The human race, the language of the heart. Now we come to that moment. I ask you all now to just focus on your candles. We'll have a moment of silence. Please be silent for 1 minute. Thank you. Our hearts, our voices, our candles. This is the love that we sing. This is the welcome we sing. This is the hope we sing. This is the compassion we sing. We, the people of Shepparton, say welcome to refugees.